Yeah. So,
I'll have to
all right.
revisit.
What's your last movie?
Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay. No spoilers, but go ahead.
No spoilers.
And the legend of the hidden
And the legend of
ten
Ten
rings.
Rings.
10 rings. God damn
What
it.
did you just say?
Legends of the Hidden Temple. That game show that was on what, Nickelodeon when we were
Oh my God.
teenagers.
I remember that.
Olmec or whoever was the face, the stone face in the wall.
Oh yeah. That was another Mark Summers one, right? He was like the
What did Mark Summers host that?
No,
I know he hosted Double Dare.
He did Double Dare, and then he did some Food Network stuff.
That's right.
I don't think it was Mark Summers, but he did a few other hosty sort of things.
Well, he did Family Double Dare. He did the various Double Dare spin-offs, but yeah. But yeah, you're right. He did something on Food Network later, and I think that's when we found out that he was a big germaphobe and really hated Double Dare. But he was just so into making quality children's entertainment that he put up with it, even though he's constantly covered in goop and slime and was really uncomfortable with it. Good on you, Mark.
I'm not even that big of a germaphobe, but like I don't want to be covered in goop and slime. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so what did I just see? I saw
Shang-Chi.
So let's talk a bit about things that aren't going to spoil it, because you have not seen it.
I have not seen it yet. It comes out, they moved it back to Disney Day, which I think is the anniversary of the launch of Disney Plus. So it was coming out, pardon me. Well, it was coming out sooner, but now I think it's like November 20th or something. So I won't get to see it until late November.
Okay. So
y'all won't know what I think until December.
It is so good. First of all,
is it great?
I cannot wait for you to see it. It's fantastic. Like it really is. And the dude is so well cast, and just, I mean, he's
Simu, I think is his name. Something like that. I've never heard it. I'm trying to remember. I've seen it written, and I'm trying to remember what it looked like. So
yeah,
not a guy I'm familiar with though.
No, he's newish. Like,
is he? Okay.
He's so good in it, and the one thing that I was really
familiar with the rest of the cast though, like Tony Leung and
Awkwafina though.
She's in it, sure.
Michelle Yeoh,
Michelle Yeoh, yeah.
You put her in something, and
Michelle Yeoh.
Like that woman is.
She's great.
She's the epitome of like, you cannot take your eyes off her.
Has she told anyone where she found the Fountain of Youth?
Commanding, right?
Because she hasn't aged in like 35 years. How do you do it, Michelle?
Well, I think that sometimes, like, I know that everyone talks about Paul Rudd, which is true, but like,
also true.
Her, and when I think about Michelle Yeoh, I'm like, I'm very confused, because I feel like she's been playing this character, like, not she's been playing.
Tony Leung looks great too.
She's always the same. She's always a kick-ass. She's not a grandma. She's not this old decrepit woman. She's a woman who will kick ass in the movie.
That's true.
She is, and she's just, and I'm like, and she still looks gorgeous, but like she just is grace and badassery personified. She's fantastic. Anyways,
good performer too.
Yes, she's great. So, anyways, I was concerned about Awkwafina. Not that I don't like Awkwafina. Let me be clear. I have seen things that she's in. I
think Ocean's 8 might be the only other thing I've seen her in.
So I've seen her in that. I saw her in
which she was solid in.
The Farewell, which is a dramatic turn for her. And when she's in a dramatic role, it's just, I've seen her enough to know that she uses that, because also the same with Raya in The Last Dragon.
Mm-hmm. She's in that. Yeah, she's Sisu the dragon.
She's kind of a character sometimes. She's just like, she has that kind of, and she was in Crazy Rich Asians, and she
have not seen it, but
she plays this sidekicky, brash-ish character a lot. And so when I was seeing the previews for Shang-Chi, and I saw her in it, and I saw her kind of doing that sidekick comedic sort of a thing, I was like, either it's because it's in snippets on a trailer, or and maybe you don't get the whole arc for her, but I was very trepidatious going in, thinking to myself, oh gosh, she's going to stand out like a sore thumb and is going to be like that, just the hot, you know, funny Asian chick that is currently making waves. Let's hire her, even though she's not going to really fit into the Marvel universe world.
To you, it felt like it was stunt casting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh God, because like now she's now canon. She's now in the world. And like, and again, I liked her, but like, it just, there was something about it that I was like, it's just not gonna fit. She does fine.
Okay.
Like she actually, it does fit. Her personality fits. There's some pretty cool, like she really becomes, you know, thoughtful and it does work. And they have a very good chemistry that I enjoy a lot, because it's actually not a sexual chemistry, but it is like a true, like you can feel
they're just buddies.
They are just buddies. I think that
yes, men and women can just be friends.
Yes. So I think that there might be more that they try to do later type of thing. And I hate that crap. I'm like, for the love of all things holy, please just I've
always loved you, really, as a friend.
Yeah, like let's be real. My two best friends are men, Cressy and Fushi, which are their last names because I can't call anyone by their first names. Sam and Mike. But like
Mike? What even is a Mike?
So like Cressy and Fushi are my besties, and we talk every day, and everything's great. And those are my boys, and I want to be clear to them and everybody else. I don't ever have any inkling or inclination. Like, there's never been a moment that I'm like,
you know,
hey.
Did you ponder the question, what if?
Can anyone else say that phrase other than Jeffrey Wright and make it sound so amazing?
Right?
Like, what if? Like, I can't
Disney Plus skip intro. Nah.
No. I will. He can say the same thing over and over and over.
I'll be honest. Throughout, I listened to all the intros, but I always looked away because I didn't want to see the vocal cast, because I didn't want to be spoiled as to which character. Because I know exactly, because I recognize all the names.
I know.
I see Mark Ruffalo. I'm like, oh well, Hulk's in it. Okay, you know. So I looked away and just listened, just so I'd be surprised as to which characters would show up.
We looked and we're like, oh, and then of course for the last one we were just like, everybody's in this, and I'm like, well, everyone has to be in this. It's the
last one, yeah.
The finale. Yes, but what if, man? Go see it. Listen to Jeffrey Wright speak. What was I talking about? Shang-Chi. So yeah, Aquafina was great. Everyone was great. And I'm no, I'm not going to say that. There is a animated.
Is it that fuzzy thing with a butt for a face?
I forget its name, but it has a name.
Isn't it like Marvin or Melvin or?
Honestly, that's very close. But I'm also thinking about the Ford Cat commercial with Walter, which is the best commercial ever made. So anyways, that little fluffy butt thing that has no face,
dog winged six-legged butt face.
It's thing. An ottoman with legs.
Yeah. I think there's like one clip of it in one of the trailers. I'm like, what the hell is that?
It's so cute, and it's not like annoying. It's not like in the new Star Wars.
It doesn't like speak in fart noises, does it?
No, and it's not like pork. Aren't those their names? The porks?
Who?
The porgies?
Oh, porgs in the Star Wars movies. Yeah, the little penguin looking things.
Yeah, like this little dude is a full-on character in and of himself, like full-on, has an arc, has an entire thing, and it is to die for. And it does tie in. It lets you know how it ties into the third Iron Man, and it lets you so it does do that in a very you have to know. Like, that's the only thing I will say. As someone who has watched all of the 23 films,
something like
that, I have seen them all. I do want to watch all of them again, even though I do realize what an undertaking that is, and I want to watch them in order.
That's like 2 solid days worth of movie watching. Yeah,
it's a lot. It grows all the time, of course.
Are you going to include the various TV shows like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and
no, especially because those are so newly on my brain. Like, I just want to watch the movies again, especially because the Iron Man 3 I've only seen once, and
same here.
And I think the same goes with all of the Captain America ones I've only seen. So there's Iron Man 1 I've seen 842 times. Guardians of the Galaxy I've also seen that many times. So there's a few of them that like I've just, and I think it's because they were the ones who came out.
Yeah, I think there's only like 3 or 4 that I've seen twice. I saw Iron Man twice. I think I saw it once in the theater, and I think I saw it once at I was at Kim, the director of the Pacific Coast Harmony, at her house for some reason, probably for like Thanksgiving dinner, and that was on. I was watching it. I saw Thor twice in the theater, Thor Ragnarok twice in the theater, Black Panther twice in the theater. Mainly because Thor, because I went with someone else to see it who wanted to see it. Black Panther because it came back to theaters like a year later for fun, and I got free tickets to see it. I went, absolutely. Does it hold up? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But for me, I think those might be the only ones not counting the couple of them that I own a DVD, and then I watched the audio commentary. I don't count that as a second viewing. So
no, but that's the thing for me, is that I've seen them out of order so much, and that I haven't seen them enough, that some of that, like the fact that the 10 Rings was discussed in Iron Man 3 completely, I'm like, really?
Well, it was mentioned in the first one too.
Yeah, because it's all in the propaganda and stuff in the background. So it's like, for me,
it's not a huge part of the plot, but yeah, it's there.
Yeah, so to me, it's nice that I have an other who is so detailed about them, because he also has read all of them.
He's like, oh, you don't remember? Well, let me tell you.
So for me, on the way to the theater, and you know how close the theater is, so like on the way to the theater, it's all of 5 minutes. He was like, okay, and I was like, okay, and I was really happy to have that really quick download,
as seen in the one shot found on the Thor DVD.
Yeah, it's stupid how he remembers these things, but he has actually explained it to me. Him doing I like the channel surfing that he does. And then like he'll stop and he'll watch something for 20 minutes, and then when it goes to commercial, he'll flip, and then he'll stop and watch something else for 20 minutes. A lot of times it's Marvel movies. So
I would strangle him. Stop it. Pick something and watch it.
And he knows, and I'll just leave. I'll just play Animal Crossing.
I would just
I'll just play Animal Crossing. But the thing is that you realize that it is that behavior that has led him to being able to be so incredibly precise and accurate, because he'll watch 20 minutes of a movie wherever it is, like commercial break, and it could be a very, one of those scenes that you're like, this isn't the part of Iron Man or the part of Thor that most people get all jonesed about. This is like, we needed to get from A to B, so this is a plot driven part or something. It's not the actiony part, and he'll just sit there and watch it. So he has seen those scenes, which a lot of that exposition and everything, the details have been, and so that's how he knows it all. Well, he's also read all the comics.
One of the things that the Marvel movies generally do really, really well is that while the action and big bombastic stuff is fun, it's the characters that you just love. I'm happy just watching the characters sit down and chat at each other and eat shawarma. Exactly.
The only thing that does kill me is I believe that this one takes place after the blip.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it does. Oh God, someone tell me if it does or doesn't. But anyways,
I would assume it does.
I think it does.
Because with the exception of Captain Marvel, and Black Widow, they seem to go in chronological order for the most part. Although Captain Marvel, I think, starts in modern day, then flashes. Most of the movies, like flashing back to the 90s, would happen. I think the end scene. I think, if I remember, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's just interesting because I'm getting to the point, and again, if it's Marvel, I'll watch it. I'm very excited, and I've heard all the things coming soon to a movie theater near you, and I'm just like, I'm like, how are they shoehorning people in, or are they going to make it all later? So it's interesting to see how they're going to, that they had a whole universe that basically led up to the snap, and then post snap, and then like now we're in a world where that has all happened.
Yeah, I know. We do know that the Eternals takes place post snap.
Yes.
Because Salma Hayek's character is talking about that specifically in the trailer.
During all of this, like, so the Eternals, but like that's the other thing
it's like Thanos is not a deviant, so what could we do?
Yeah, Thanos was always supposed to happen. Like, but that's the thing that kills me, is this is kind of like
the Loki thing. It's like, yeah, the Avengers were supposed to go back in time and fix that. It's like, says who?
Yeah.
Says
but I love that he's like,
Jonathan Majors.
I'm not guilty. I'll tell you who's guilty. The Avengers.
God, that was a weird performance by Jonathan Majors at the end of Loki, wasn't
it? Yeah.
I'm really interested, because I imagine the next time we see him, which I think is the new Ant-Man movie, he's going to be a different variant of that person. So, because he died, Sylvie killed him. So I imagine the next time we see him, it's going to be a variant, because as he said, wait, if you think I'm bad, wait till you meet some of my variants. So I imagine the next time we see him as that character, he's going to be very different. And I'm really curious to see in what way.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't sold on her. I know we're not talking about Loki, but like
Sylvie?
Yeah.
As a performer, or
Yeah.
Just a general sense, or anything specific stand out? Because I liked her a lot.
I decidedly did not enjoy the romantic thing, and
between her and Loki.
Yes, which is weird because I'm like the most sappy person I've ever met. I'm like, I love, and I'm like, I ship everyone. I ship people who shouldn't be shipped. Like, I'm super excited about people.
I would have been happy with Loki and Mobius riding off on a jet ski together. I'd be like, yeah.
Thank you. I shipped them. I was like, oh, girl. And I'm not an Owen Wilson fan, and yet I was totally.
Oh, he's great. And I'm amazed that he never rode a jet ski at any point, because they set that up in the beginning. I'm like, oh, the jet ski's coming. He's gonna have to get on a jet. He's gonna save the day with a jet ski.
I love it. But so for me, so I look at that and I'm like, why am I so opposed to this pairing? Because I get the fact that, yeah, Loki would love himself. Like, Loki's the person that Loki is going to love the most is Loki. So to find a variant that fits his Lokiness, like, makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was icky and weird, and I don't know if it was how they and I can only imagine that I had a problem with her, because I don't have a problem with Tom Hiddleston. And I don't mean sexually, because I think that he's just a very good Loki, is what I mean.
I don't think anyone sexually has a problem with Tom Hiddleston.
Okay, true. No one sexually has a problem with Tom Hiddleston. I just meant, like, that's not why I like him, just because he's hot. I meant, like, he exudes.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, why am I against this? So
I mean, it kind of I think the relationship between
what was that? Do you have a bear?
It's a bear outside waking up. He's really grumpy. The relationship between Mobius and Loki was a relationship that developed based on mutual respect and understanding and learning about one another. The relationship between Sylvia and Loki was based on, we're in a very tense, actiony, heart-pounding situation, and we're both really hot.
Yes,
I think that might. I think that's why one relationship actually feels more earned and real to me than the other.
Yes. Okay.
I think maybe the Sylvie and Loki relationship just needed a bit more downtime to breathe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some downtime, but it's always with a ticking clock. Like they're talking on the train, but they're rushing to the end of the earth to get on the plane before they blow up. They're having a nice,
for me.
You know, so I think that might have at least something to do with it.
I'll allow it. So Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Very good. Highly recommend. I cannot wait. Like, I will say that that's the one thing about us doing these mini reviews that is kind of sad, is like, if it was a current show, I don't want to, because especially Shang-Chi, like, you are going to see it. And I think that for the most part,
in another month, yeah.
Like, it's such a good and so well done and different than, and holy crap. So let me tell you about the guy who plays Shang-Chi's father.
Tony Leung.
Thank you.
Yeah, remember last month I was talking about Blind Detective?
Yes.
He plays the blind detective. But the guy's in 100 movies, so yeah.
First off, yes. And I recognize him. I totally forgot his name. But what I will say is, I don't think anyone else on the face of this earth could wear 5 big chunky bracelets on both wrists and look as suave and badass and like a man to be like, he pulls like, and like,
don't mess with him. Who? The guy with the 5 chunky bracelets on each wrist.
Because like, because you look at the bracelets and you break them down just for what they are, and they're big gold, bronzy gold, but like bronze bracelets, just big, and there's no, and he makes them look so good, and you're just like, that's so weird. Because if I just saw a dude walking down the road,
I mean, well, there's an interesting choice.
I'd be like, exactly. I'd be like, well, that's a choice. Like, you'd think that, but like, he just. So, anyways, I was very taken. I was taken by the bracelets, anyways, and I was very captivated by their movement on the arm and sometimes lack thereof movement on the arm. So, like, several times, and I want to be clear, it never took me out. But just as the geek that I am, I was like, because there was space between them, because he'd sit and like he'd rest them, and I'm like, how is it happening? Because like either
they'd space out, but sometimes he can like and
and so and then there were times when, you know, because like they would just sit together, but not, you could tell that they weren't like, because I wear bangles sometimes, and you can tell like they hang over each other, but they were always perfectly aligned. So you know that there were several bracelets made for whatever scene or whatever needed to happen.
They probably had to glue the damn things to his arm.
So and it was probably like, honestly, very uncomfortable. Like, I'm going through all these things about how terrible it probably was, and yet he just did it with such like suave, like he just was really graceful. I mean, he is a graceful, like it was really good, but like that really was something that I was very in tune with during the movie. And not to say anything bad about Shang-Chi, he wears the bracelets nicely too, but not like his papa did. So anyways, there you go.
I'm really curious to see. I know many comics fans were bothered, but I was not. I really loved Kingsley's performance as the Mandarin in the Iron Man 3, both as the character that he put on the Mandarin, and you won't see me coming. You know, that whole character that he put on, and Trevor Slattery, I thought was hilarious. I'm really interested to see how the real Mandarin is. And I'm really interested to compare, Trevor Slattery's interpretation of the Mandarin to the actual Mandarin. I think that's going to be interesting. Also, I no spoilers, of course, but I am expecting to at least hear about, if not see, the fate of Ben Kingsley's Trevor Slattery in this film, because that's a plot thread that's been dangling. Are you okay?
I'm great. I'm trying not to, I don't play poker, so I'm listening to
your thoughts, no spoilers.
And I'm just doing this for a moment.
Yeah.
So that you.
So I mean, this could go any number of ways. I would be surprised if Ben Kingsley doesn't have at least some small part. I'm not even going to look at you, because whether Tony Leung just gives him a good talking to, or kills him, or
now you listen here.
Now what have we learned? Or employs him in some capacity, or feeds him to the fuzzy butt monster. I'm really interested to see how that is resolved.
Especially because Kingsley, has he done it?
It'd be hilarious if he like kidnapped Trevor Slattery and just like held him in a dungeon, and then he got snapped away, and they snapped back in the same place. It's like, well, god damn it, I was finally rid of your dumbass. You have to blip back into my cell. Wonderful.
The point, right, is that they go back to exactly where they were.
Yeah. And what they were doing at the time.
And marching bands come back in the middle of like really rant,
which causes problems, but you have to imagine that Hulk was thinking about that when, like anyone on a plane, blipped back, like not in the middle of the ocean or anything, but safely somewhere else. Like everyone's returned as they were when they were, unless it would be really unsafe for them to return exactly there, then they get moved somewhere safe. Like no one actually materializes inside a wall that the found, like a freeway foundation that hadn't been laid yet.
That's what I was like, because I was like, especially here, like you get, not here in St. Louis, but here in America, every 5 years, if you haven't built up a parking garage or something.
Can you imagine how awkward it would be for people who were naked at the time, like taking a shower and maybe blip somewhere else, maybe someone on a plane but taking a dump and materializes somewhere completely different with their pants down? Can you imagine two people canoodling during the snap, and your partner just suddenly disappears? It's like,
depending on what you're doing, that could hurt you.
And then when Hank's blips back, he's just thrusting away into nowhere. It's like,
or right next to your partner who has now moved on to this.
Or it's like, the same house, same bed, new partner.
Like,
oh no. Who the hell is this? Well, you remember I told you my old boyfriend got snapped while we were doing it? I guess he came back. Well, this is awkward. And that's like, well, should I just take my erection and leave? Because no time has passed from my perspective. This is really awkward for me too, Linda.
It's like, ooh, you look 5 years older. Never mind. Like that would ruin so many relationships. Like that's the thing about Spidey going back. Like his friends all had to blip too, or else they'd be in college.
Yeah, although in was it Far From Home? I think the next one they have like one kid who is like in 8th grade who's now a senior in high school, and he's like bigger than all of them. It's like, was that little guy from it? Yeah, because he didn't blip. But yeah, MJ, Ned, and Peter, and Flash Thompson, and all of them. And it's like odds that they all got fine, whatever, it's fine.
So, it's fine.
All right, now that God, We cannot keep mini reviews. I mean, they're there. We usually just
hey. They know what they're getting.
You know what you're getting. This is what the Eisen kids are known for. It's not staying on topic. Okay, so final film that I watched on the last day of September 30th. Ooh, I should get a prop for this one. Let's see.
Oh, I'm like, you're leaving? Oh.
No, I've got props. Okay. There we go. All right, this is gonna be good. So I watched for the final movie a movie called Found Footage 3D. This is hard to do with there we go. Yes. It's an anaglyph 3D movie, and it was presented that way on Shudder, which is the horror streaming service I subscribe to. There were two versions of the movie. There was a 3D and a non-3D version. I watched the 3D version.
Have those?
I just have those. Those are actually from the. I don't know where it is on my shelf. If you can see it anywhere, but.
Freddy?
Yeah. It's behind. It's like right there behind the weights. But my Nightmare on Elm Street box set, because. Yeah. Like 20 minutes at the end of Freddy's Dead is in 3D. Yeah. So these are actually, you can see that they say Nightmare on Elm Street on them. So these are my Nightmare on Elm Street 3D glasses. So yeah, they're just regular, the red and blue. It's not green, it's blue. Anaglyph 3D glasses. So Found Footage 3D is a movie that came out in 2016. And so here's the concept. Yeah. Like you might guess from the title, it's a found footage movie. It's in 3D. So is it
in 3D?
Yes, it is. So the gimmick here is there are layers here. So there's a small group of filmmakers who are going to make their own found footage movie. But since Blair Witch, there's been a ton of found footage movies. So how do we stand out from the crowd? I've got it. We'll shoot our found footage movie in 3D. But what Andrew, am watching is the documentary footage of these people making a 3D found footage movie. So it's found footage of a found footage movie. Right.
Okay.
And they shot all the found footage in 3D because they were using all 3D cameras. So we're like, we're going to shoot our behind the scenes stuff in 3D too. So what we get to watch is the 3D behind the scenes footage of the first 3D found footage movie, which itself is a found footage movie.
Layers.
Yeah. So the pacing could use a little tightening. A couple of the special effects, the computer effects, fall a little short. Some character choices are a bit much. But otherwise, a successful and entertaining deconstruction of the found footage genre. And it does a really, really great job of conceiving and staging its various supernatural gags. I really liked it. Go ahead.
So you're only ever watching the creating of but do you ever get a sense for the movie they're creating? Like, do you get? Oh, cool. Oh, that is neat.
So you see, there's some footage of the guy, a guy standing off the side filming the scene that they're filming.
Sure.
And you see clips of him putting footage together on an editing bay. So you do see a few of the scenes from the movie. But it's all, B-roll and behind the scenes documentary stuff. What I mean by some character choices being a bit much is, for those who don't know, my sister and I are both theater kids. Now, this is not the accepted vernacular, but personally, there are two types of theater kids. There are actors, and there are thespians.
Oh, Lord in heaven. Okay, yeah.
The director of this found footage movie is a thespian. He is a conceited asshole he's one of those people. Everyone has been, remember in school where you would have to do a group project and there would always be one asshole who never actually did anything but would take the credit for everything? That's who this is. Someone who thinks they're more talented and smarter and more together than they really are, but it's everyone else supporting them, and who makes insanely stupid decisions and everyone else has to talk them out of the really dumb decisions. But, you know, he's the director, so, or you know, he's the writer, producer, and star who's hired a director, but never listens to him, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
These people exist.
No.
I've met them. I've worked with them. I know my sister has too. Yeah. But they go a little bit too far with this specific character. They go far enough in a few places where I'm like, okay, no one would ever work with this guy. These people would be like, okay, you know what? Done. Out. No. Bye. Yeah. Not terrible, but you know, a skosh too far in a couple places. Like, the guy actually acts fine. You know, his acting is fine with the few clips we see. He seems to be a decent actor, but not only is he a bad writer, he just doesn't seem to care about, like, he wants to make a found footage movie and wants to be in 3D. And the director's like, okay, but why would they be shooting this in 3D?
Doesn't want to do the work. Just wants.
Yeah. He's like, oh, who cares? You know, he's like, because we wouldn't have a movie if he did. You know, I like this film because it is a found footage movie while also being a deconstruction of them. It's like, okay, there's two major problems with a found footage movie that you have to overcome to make a good movie, says the director in the behind the scenes to our audience. He's like, number one, you have to come up with a plausible reason why this movie is being shot in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you have to come up with a reason why they keep shooting after everyone keeps dying. It's like, why are you still filming?
Yeah.
You know, you're running away, but you're still holding a heavy, and now we're doing 3D, and these are big, bulky, heavy cameras. Why are you carrying that around? Because you don't have a movie if you don't.
Yeah, that's the reason.
And there's also, you know, the writer, producer, director, he's like, well, what if my character lives? He's like, it's a found footage movie. Everyone has to die. Otherwise, it wouldn't be found footage. It would just be found. It would be delivered footage
of my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has to die. That's the rules. And everyone in found footage 3D does die. There is the last shot of the movie is one of the characters going, you know, monster face, jump at the camera, cut to credits with no music. Because of course, it's exactly how all of these end. It's a found footage movie. And it does the exact thing where, so why at the end of the movie where they're running from the ghost, why does he still have the damn camera going? Because you can only see the ghost through the camera.
Okay.
That's not okay. We can work with that.
I'll allow it.
That's not a bad thing. There's also two cameras, and they're also, you know, one gets lost in the woods. Where are you? Shine the camera light, and they're like sweeping it back. I see you over there, you know. And they have the headsets on. And it's like, so there's actually a reason why they still would be using the cameras. Maybe not recording, but they were recording and they never turned it off. It's fine. And a lot of it is actually, it's clear that someone had a camera up like this and then just took it down and just booked, because the camera is upside down and pointing backwards as they run out of the house and into the woods.
I've been waiting for that kind of a shot, because
they're not running like this. They're running like, and they're still holding the damn camera because it's probably attached to like a battery pack clipped to their belt and stuff like that. Also, those are kind of expensive. You probably wouldn't throw it on the ground. You probably would just run it, but you wouldn't be filming. And it is kind of hard to watch, but it's not that long of a scene, and it works. One thing I also mentioned that I think the various supernatural shenanigans are really well conceived and staged. There are a couple shots that are CG that don't quite work, and that's unfortunate, but most of it is pretty practical and done really, really well. So really where I come down is, should you watch this in 3D? Because it's the crappy, it's the crappy anaglyph red and blue 3D, which works. You do get a sense of depth. That technology actually does work, but it washes out all the colors. It makes you feel like you're colorblind. Everything is just kind of this grayish purple color, which is the drawback of this kind of thing. It's also not a movie that does a lot of things. Sure. When they first pick up the 3D cameras at the end of the movie, they're like playing with each other and stuff, but most of it is just shot regular. There's not a lot of coming at the screen type gags. Okay. But watching these dingbats try and figure out how they're going to do the movies, the ending of which was not written, because we'll figure it out, whatever. It's like,
as long as you all die, we're fine.
Yeah. The characters are fun enough to hang out with, even if the one goes so douchebag that no one would ever work with this guy. But yeah, there's some good stuff. Like there's this, he puts the camera pointing at the editing bay. It's like, okay, so it's editing the footage, and you see this weird shadow in the window. I don't remember anyone outside. I don't know what the hell that is. It's this weird indistinct shadow in the window in the background. He's like, I don't know what that is. It's so weird, right? And he walks away, and the camera, it just stays on the screen for 40 seconds while he's off talking to someone, and it just dematerializes from the recorded footage that's sitting paused on the editing bay. And he comes back, he's like, scrub back, forward. He looks at the camera, he's like, he's like, I'm pretty sure there was a shadow there. Where is it now?
That's cool.
There's a lot of where he's looking at footage and he's like, wait a minute, that's me, that's you, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who's filming this? It's like, oh dude, it's like who is filming this? That I'm not filming that, because you can see me sleeping right there. There's stuff like that. It's really well done. There's a wonderful scene where they're standing in the kitchen, and then suddenly every cabinet opens and all the dishes just suddenly spill out onto the floor. Big jump scare. And you're like, whoa. It actually turns out that was a staged effect that for some reason fired early. Like they had rigged the whole thing to do that.
They were waiting for that.
But it just blew at the wrong time. And it's like, there's no way to really reset that, Dan. And there's like, it's not even plugged in. I don't know how that could have happened. Weird radio signal tower bouncing off a passing bird. I don't know what the hell happened.
You watched this on Shudder, did you say?
Yeah, it's on Shudder. Huh. Yeah, and it's hard to, if Anaglyph 3D gives you a headache, don't watch in 3D. But I liked watching it in 3D, even though it washes out the colors, because that's the fun of the movie.
Yeah, it was how it was intended.
Yeah. So now when this was in the theaters, it would have been the other 3D, the polarized lenses. The
polarized, yeah.
So you would have been able to actually see color. Unfortunately, I didn't see it in the theater back when it came out. But yeah,
it sounds good.
Yeah, it's I found it well worth a watch. It was a fine way to close out my September. So
very nice. I like it.
Okay. You only watched 3, but recommend and skip?
So yeah, absolutely. I recommend Shang-Chi. It's just, it has all the makings of what you want in a movie. You know, the good characters, the action, a good story, special effects, big budgets. I mean, it's just a cute Ottoman baby dog, fluffy butt monster thing. Like, I mean, it's just really, it really just checks all the boxes. Checks all the boxes. And if I was going to say to skip one of them, even though I gave rave reviews to all of them, due to the audience that you have, I would say skip Luca, mainly because even though I very much liked it and it was good, I would say that, you know, it is I liked it. It was skippable. It's skippable because unless you are really a fan of like the animated, you know, kids movies, it's just really not going to be for you. And I know people who just, it's not, you know, their cup of tea. And it's also, you know,
it's,
some people don't get into animated.
Yeah, it's like solid, but there's really nothing about it. I say, oh, you have to see this. Yeah, no, if you see it, it's enjoyable. If not, it's good. I liked it.
I liked it a lot. I found it good. If that was one that, you know, Isabel decided that she wanted to watch on repeat over and over, I don't think I would mind as much as some of the other things that she's chosen to watch on repeat over and over. But yeah, it's not a life-changing, like, you're not going to go to, you know, have, you know, a hot beverage with your friend and be like, Luca. you know? Whereas you might be like, the 10 Rings. You know what so that's my take.
Okay.
And you had some really terrible ones up there.
Well, yeah, so. for my skip it, I'm going to go with Death Dream, because there was just, let me go through my movies here. So Kate was not great, but you know, it looked good. Mary Elizabeth Weinstein is fun. The actor who plays the girl is good and makes a character that could have been really annoying not annoying. And it's got some decent action. So, I mean, it's fine. Miss 45 is bad, but it's an exploitation movie, which means that there's some fun to be had. Yeah, there are individual moments in the film that are like, okay, that's kind of cool. Night Books has a nice aesthetic that I like.
Good costuming.
The sets and stuff are great. It not great, but not a waste of my time either.
Not offensively bad.
If they make a Night Books 2, I'll definitely check it out. So yeah, Scarface. Oh, pardon me, just spit all over the place there, because I'm out of water.
I know. I'm like, I'm right there. I'm like taking the tiniest sips.
Get the little drops. Scarface is not great, but it was at least interesting comparing it to the more modern one. The two Argento movies, I wasn't really huge on, but it was interesting looking at the beginning of that man's filmography. Maybe I need to check out some of his later works, like Suspiria or something like that. But because I really like his segment in Two Evil Eyes. So and neither of them are bad. They're pretty good first efforts, but you know, Death Dream there's just nothing good about it at all. Like, it's boring. Nothing works in that movie. It was just an absolute slog. I really didn't like watching that one. So Death Dream is definitely, although it was nice to finally put a movie to the box art that I had seen in video stores when I was younger. But
that's not enough to make it.
I wouldn't mind getting those 90 minutes back. But for the recommendation, that's definitely going to The Man Who Cheated Himself. I mean, unless you can't stand old movies that are in black and white and have, you know, older styles of acting, it's a really, really fun movie. It's tense. It's tense and it's fun, and I really liked it, and I highly recommend it. Unless you just can't stand black and white movies or something like that, I think you'll dig it. Ooh, so okay. Yeah, those are those are my thoughts. And that does it for our September monthly movie mini reviews.
3 hours later.
And a couple side conversations about Blue's Clues and sex games with interesting input controls, So all the fun for the entire family that you could ever want from the Eisen.
Clean fun.
Good, clean, family-friendly fun. That's right. So how many movies have you watched so far this month of October?
I think just the one that I told you, but I am watching the other one tonight. So I'll be in it. It's only it's the 15th,
it's the 16th today.
Yeah. So I haven't received. Oh no, I've seen two. With
the third coming tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched 2 so far. It's been a slow month, but I'm also working on a lot of my focus is on the prep for the Extra Life charity event, which is November 6th. So starts at noon Pacific Standard Time, Saturday, November 6th. Go to extralife.org/participant/Andrew Eisen to read all about the event and what we're playing and the donation incentives and all that good stuff. And you can make a donation, tax deductible. Every penny goes to helping the Rady Children's Hospital. So
excited. I'm super excited. I can't believe
it's Keleigh will be there
3 weeks away.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So all right, that is it for us. Thank you everyone for, I don't know if this is probably gonna be like part 3 or 4 or something like that. Yeah. God, we're time management, not our specialty at all. No. Oh man, it's a good thing we direct ourselves, because if we had like a producer, it'd be like, oh my God, stop. You're killing me.
Imagine.
You're killing me, Smalls.
You guys are fired. You will have to script this out. Because
exactly.
It's not going to happen. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
So thanks everyone for hanging out, and we will see you next month with even more mini reviews. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.